How's it, guys? So today we are driving up to Joburg. It is 5 AM. We're gonna pack the car and then we're gonna be off. All packed up. This guy is full to the brim. Already had a cafefe this morning, but we are chasing it with Baraka. Be ready. It's a file. Good job, Sav. So that's it. Sav's room all finished up. Nothing left. We are coming back here closer to New Year's, but the one thing that I just quickly wanted to say before we properly get started in the vlog was that the phone that I'm using, okay, I will let you guys know. It is the OnePlus 5, so 6. I'll tell you guys more about that at another stage, but the one thing I wanted to mention was that it has electronic image stabilization, so when I'm doing this, I'm seeing a different thing to what you'll actually see because it'll already be stabilized when I import it into my computer. And what that does is it can make videos a bit wacky sometimes. So I'm going to apologize for that in advance. There's no way to turn it off just yet. I do believe there's a software update coming soon. I've also got my tech guy on it. If you guys know how to do it, let me know.
Let's go.
Let's go. So we are on the way, still in Cape Town, but we're leaving Cape Town. We are taking the N1.
Oh, okay, so there is the back of Devil's Peak and Table Mountain, and there's Lion's Head in the distance. This is actually quite interesting. This is a flay, which is like a marshland almost, around Cape Town, and sometimes there are flamingos in here. Flamingos.
We've just stopped at a Wengen, just outside of Cape Town, because we just want to check the tire pressure. Very important, safety first. Also, I'm going to clean the windows and stuff with the, not the windows, the mirrors. All the better to see you with, my dear.
Just approaching our first toll gate in Worcester.
Look at the mountain behind it though. It's just
you can see it's incredible. This is the Hanover, which is out in the Cape Winelands. It's absolutely beautiful. Hello.
Dankie.
Guys, I wanted to film this for you because this bridge goes over the Huguenot River, and sometime at the beginning of this year there was such bad wind in the Western Cape that a truck fell over on this bridge, which is crazy. So one of these like huge guys just like toppled over entirely, so you can see a little windsock there. Cape Town is pretty windy at the moment, but oh, can we just, how beautiful. Oh, we made it through.
Fun fact.
Fun fact. Approaching the Huguenot Tunnel, which I'm pretty sure, okay, it's the longest tunnel in South Africa, but I feel like it's one of the longest tunnels in the Southern Hemisphere. I don't know. Oh my god! Oh.
Stopping at a Wengen because they've got a Wimpy, which is the best road trip food. There we go, toasted salmi. Sav is just on the phone, updating her mom. Got a takeaway, famous Wimpy coffee. I'm gonna get some biltong now because there's this little De Doorn's cellar. I wonder what they sell. So it turns out that was actually just wine sales. They didn't do any biltong. So we are gonna hit the road. We're probably gonna drive for about another hour and a bit maybe before we stop again.
We have some baboons.
Driving through Toes Rivier. They're just chilling on the side of the road. Hey, watch it.
Whoa. Absolute nuisance. Oh, it's a baby.
So we are entering the town of Lanesburg, where back in 1981, I think it was, there were massive floods. Sam was just having a nap. In the 1980s, there was a massive flood here. Something that's really interesting that I found. This is basically how I learned about the geographical process called isostasy, which is the balance of the Earth's crust on the mantle. And because during the flood, there was a massive displacement of soil from one location to another on the Earth's crust. So basically soil moved from here to here. It meant that this bit of soil, this bit of the crust rose and this bit of the crust sank. So it actually caused massive earthquakes. So quite interestingly, after flooding, you can get earthquakes because of the displacement of soil, which I thought was an interesting fact that you guys might enjoy. Geography with SP.
I was googling the Lanesburg flood because I feel like everyone knows about it, but we don't really know the details. But anyway, so I thought I'd let you know. On the 25th of January 1981, Lanesburg was devastated by a severe flood. The hard rains immersed the whole town in water. Only the roofs of the houses were left visible. At least 100 residents lost their lives, and bodies of 72 people were never found. A total of 184 houses were destroyed, leaving only 21 standing. The force of the water was so immense that the victims' bodies were found as far away as Mossel Bay. To put that in perspective, that's a coastal town that is 150 kilometers away from here.
Yeah.
10 of the survivors were rescued 21 kilometers away at the Floris Kraal Dam.
Only 21 houses were left standing.
That is crazy.
180 destroyed. Wild. We are just passing through Beaufort West now, just gonna get some lunch. But fun fact about Beaufort West, not so fun, their dam, the Gamka Dam, has effectively dried up. There is no water in the dam, so they have hit day 0 in terms of the drought. Yeah, they have to go collect water from communal water points, so things are pretty hectic out here. And it's basically a little insight into the future of Cape Town. If residents don't manage their water. Just stopped for a little driver change and a stretch because it's quite stiff. So the place where we had the little stretch break was called Three Sisters, and this is exactly why. There's one sister, there's two sisters, and the third sister just went to the bathroom, but she's coming now. There you go, there's the third sister. That one, sister number 2 in the background, and sister number 1 on the right. These are all Misas, I believe. Either Misas or Boots. I never remember which one's which. So we've made just a quick rest stop in the lovely town of Hanover, where there is currently no electricity, which means the petrol pumps aren't working, and Sav and I have half of the reserve amount left on the tank. So we're just gonna wait for the electricity to hopefully come back on pretty soon. Just trying to give Eskom a call. Find out when the electricity might be back on. Cool. Classic. Sav is not too impressed, considering the last Fiat 500 that got stuck in Colesberg with no electricity is just over there. This car driving away right now, the VW Polo, they arrived at the petrol station and they didn't pull up to the tank or the pumps. So I was like, okay, maybe I can go ask them. I will give them 100 Rand if we can siphon like 5 liters. They were like, oh sorry, we're actually undercover cops, this is a state vehicle, it's illegal to siphon petrol out of it. So anyway, the electricity still hasn't come back on, but as they were leaving now, they said that they'd just come from Colesberg, which is where we need to go. And they said the signal between here and there is very good. And JJ basically came over, that's the policeman, and he said, take his number, give it a bash. If we don't make it all the way, they've got highway patrol and everything, and I can call him, and then he will call the police station, and then they will hopefully, well, they will come help us, which is just really nice. I mean, you know, police often get a bad rap, mostly because I guess it isn't reported when good, you know, when they do good, because that's, well, you know, that's supposed to be their job. But I've had really good interactions with the police recently. Yeah, I think I've had 4 positive interactions with the SAPS recently, so good job to SAPS. Thank you for being good. I appreciate it. Okay, we're gonna give it a bash. We've got, as you can see, 2 out of the 4 possible bars on the reserve tank. We're just gonna tuck in the mirrors while we drive to be more aerodynamic, I think. Yeah, that's a good idea, hey? Okay, we've just recently dropped to one little nodule. We've got a sign coming up. What does that say? 20. Let's do it. Let's do it, baby.
We are 11 kilometers and 8 minutes away from the nearest petrol station, which is cutting it fine considering we just got a little bleeping sound telling us that
warning, low fuel.
Low fuel. Colesberg, 1 stop in 750 meters. All baby Pearl has to do is make it 750 meters. Guys, look at that. That is the engine.
Alright, we have made it to the Colesberg engine one stop. Look, okay. It was a little bit risky maneuver to go for it, but it was a calculated risk. Calculated. We have checked in for one night at the Colesberg Lodge. We're just gonna go check out the pool deck. Hello. This is lovely. Do you wanna go for a dip? That's where we have dinner. Well, I guess we can eat here. This is nice. And we got our priorities straight, watching the nut job. We've got the real exciting stuff happening now. We've got the announcements of the top 6 in the 54th ANC elective conference. This is actually a pretty big deal in terms of South African politics, because whoever is president of the ANC will be the president-elect for the next elections, surely?
Yeah.
Something like an indication.
It's not president-elect, but the person will be the president, likely, more than likely.
Of
the president of the ANC is always our president, generally.
Okay, the president of the ANC is always our president. So I'm not good at politics. Sav, on the other hand, is very good at politics. We have an announcement. Cyril Ramaphosa, who is our current deputy president, or vice president, as they call it, is the new president of the ANC, and therefore will most likely become president should the ANC win the next general elections, which will be held in 2019. So the options for dinner, okay, there's the whole menu, but the only one that I'm interested in is this Karoo Braai at the pool bar. Yep, that's us. Comes with lamb chop, beef kebab, beef sausage, potato bake, salads, home baked bread, ice cream, chocolate sauce, coffee, tea. It's going to be done just on the fire, just over there, and all the stuff is lined up. Grub is up. Oh. Just before I give you a quick tour of the room, I want to show you the bathroom, men's bathroom, obviously. Gentleman here. I'm kidding. Here is gentleman in Afrikaans, so that's gentleman, here. You thought it actually said gentleman? Oh. And you can speak Afrikaans. And then that's kind of what gave it away for me. Dames is obviously ladies in Afrikaans. As you head north out of Cape Town, things tend to become slightly more Afrikaans. So you've got a lot more Afrikaans towns where the main language used is Afrikaans. But another thing, where we are now, is we are technically in the Karoo. This is kind of what the landscape looks like.
All the time?
All the time. Fewer windmills though, not that many all the time. That's why the dinner that we had tonight was Karoo lamb on the braai. And Karoo lamb is the finest lamb in the land. Sav's just caressing her bag of toiletries.
This is not my bag of toiletries.
Sorry,
this
that's
is
her
just
one
my bag of skincare.
That's just her bag of skincare.
Facial skincare. Anyone interested?
Too much.
Suggestions?
Too much
Holler
stuff.
at me. Matt used some of my moisturizer, one of my moisturizers last night, and said
It was good.
he woke up and his skin was so soft and bouncy.
Moisturized, hydrated. Otherwise, I'm just going to wrap up the vlog here, because not much else is going to happen tonight. Maybe watch a bit of a movie as we fall asleep. We're going to be up early tomorrow morning. I'm going to look at some of my footage. Oh, I'm going to look at the Kraken. I'm going to look at some of my footage, just review this footage basically to see how it looks, because I haven't done a full day's worth of filming with it. As I mentioned this morning, there is image stabilization on both the front and the rear camera, and when I'm filming, if I move this around, it focuses on my face, and that's a lot like the Samsung S7 Edge. The first few videos before I turned it off in Bali, it warps and distorts it to try and stabilize, which I'd rather have it not stabilized. At the same time, it also crops. So I'm not sure exactly what the crop is going to be on this clip, but in terms of what I can see on the screen, I can see that's the top, that's the bottom, that's the left hand side for me, and and that's the right hand side for me. So whatever was missing from my fingers, that's the amount that gets cropped basically by the screen. I can see the white balance is also struggling.
I look like a pumpkin.
Excuse me, you're the one climbing in there, my little pumpkin. Okay, I'll check you guys in the morning, up and early. Gonna try and shoot photos at the Gariep Dam for sunrise. Maybe. Or we'll just lie in.